Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Ryan Rastall here as always to talk you through some of the newest products to hit the market. Today we're talking mini drivers. We have the R7 Quad from TaylorMade and the Elyte from Callaway. So we are going to try both of these both out here on the golf course today and also hit some shots in the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club and take a look at how these perform. Now mini drivers are very interesting. They've kind of come back into fashion over the last few years, and I find it quite confusing as to where they fit in someone's bag. Do they replace a driver? Do they replace a fairway wood? Do they replace both? Do they sit in between? Well, hopefully we're going to hit some shots today and kind of talk through that a little bit. So what I'm going to do is actually hit some shots with my own driver and 3-wood inside, as well as both of these, and show you kind of the differences that we get with the numbers, the spins, launches, distances, etc. But also hit some shots out here on the golf course. Now, Howley Hall is quite a tough course off the tee, so you've got to hit it pretty straight. And to be honest, you don't have to hit it the longest because it's not the longest golf course in the world. So these could fit in quite nicely on a number of holes around here. So we're going to get out there, we're going to hit some, play some holes and show you exactly what we think of these two. So if we talk a little bit about the tech of these two mini drivers first. So the R7 Quad, as the name would suggest, has 4 weights in here which we can move around. It's quite a nostalgic looking golf club as well, because I remember the R7 Quad driver being out probably somewhere around 2007-8ish, and everyone had one back then, and they looked very, very similar to this. And to be honest, the head size didn't look too much bigger than this back then either, but the colour story is the same. We've got the R7 logo there on the face, but we have some additions that have come along over the last 3 years, things like the speed pocket, the twist face. So some of these technologies helping to make this product even more forgiving. We also have the adjustability here in the hosel, so we can, this is 11.5, so we can move this up and down a couple of degrees as well and really tune it into the flight that we're looking for. But also with the weighting, we've got 13 grams in the front there, 4 grams in the back. We can switch some of those around to make it more draw bias, fade bias. If we put the heavy weights at the back, we're going to get a bit more launch and a bit higher MOI. So it really is a very, very adjustable golf club, this. We have the Speeder Fujikara 6X shaft in it, so should be a similar sort of flex to what I've been using. And yeah, I'm just really, really looking forward to trying it. I think it looks great in that playing position with that kind of carbon-esque look on the top of it and that gloss black in there as well. So yeah, it really harps back to the old R7 Quad and can't wait to use it. When we look at the Elyte mini driver, it looks very, very much like the Elyte driver that's out in the range now. So we've got the same look on the top there. We've got that kind of contrast between the leading edge there and the carbony kind of look on the crown there. We have adjustable weighting in here as well as the adjustable cog on the hosel. We've got that AI 10X face that came out this year as well, so the different points across the face are checked and made hotter in certain areas where we tend to miss. Yeah, this really is an extension of the Elyte family that is already out. We've got a weight there as well at the front. This is 5 grams, but you can get different weights to go in this driver, and the 13 gram in the back there that is able to be adjusted too. I've got hazardous yellow 6.5 in here as well, so it's a shaft that I've used before and find it's quite nice and robust, so I'm expecting that to be a good shaft for me really. But yeah, it looks very, very much like all the other Elyte product that we've done reviews of already, just a much shrunken down version. So we've got 340cc in this compared to the 304cc we see in the R7 Quad. So can't wait to try them. Let's go hit some shots. So we are going to start off with the TaylorMade R7 Quad mini driver. Okay, so the one I have here has been sent with the Speeder 6X shaft in it, which is one of the standard options that you get in this, and it is set on 11.5 degrees in standard, which the Callaway one is as well. So let's have a few hits. I mean, straight away behind the golf ball, looks awesome. I think it looks absolutely beautiful, very nostalgic kind of feel, look, and kind of everything about it kind of harps back to the original R7 Quad driver. Love the black kind of shiny finish on the top. Love the little accent here in the heel with the red and the yellow in there too. But obviously with all the modern updates of things like the adjustability, some of the weight track, speed pocket, stuff like that, that's a little bit different to the original, a little bit more refined if you like. So let's hit some and see what it's like. But in terms of looks, absolutely lovely. So before we hit one, the first thing is how high do we tee this thing, right? So I've kind of gone for a small wooden tee, if you like. So instead of the 2 3/4 ones that I'd normally use, one of these little sort of 2 and a little bit. So yeah, they're quite small wooden tee. I've not actually seen one of these about for a long time really, but I suppose with people using more of these style of clubs, probably the sales of them have kind of gone up a little bit. But yeah, it was actually hard to find a tee that small. But yeah, I think trying to find the tee height is a little bit of a problem for some people. I still think that looks a little high, so I may use something a little bit smaller, I'm not sure. But let's give it a hit and see. Pulled it a little bit, maybe just missed the fairway left, but felt very, very good off the face. Nice and solid, actually. Yeah, so kind of what I was expecting, I suppose. I think it sounds great, feels great, and the distance looked pretty good on that first one as well. So around the 290 mark, that first one that I've hit. So what we're going to do here is actually hit some shots with both of these, get some numbers in here on the Trackman, but then I'm going to hit some with my driver and my 3-wood as well, because I suppose the conversation about these is, well, kind of where do they fit in regards to the rest of your set? Do they replace a fairway wood? Do they replace a driver? Do they kind of sit in between? I suppose it can be all of those things depending on what you're looking for in your bag. So hopefully in this video, we're going to have a bit of a look at kind of the different scenarios and kind of set makeups, I suppose, that you could go with depending on the types of shot that you find yourself hitting a lot more on the golf course. But let's hit some more with this, and then we'll hit some with the Callaway. Nice. So we're going to move on to the Callaway. So the Elyte mini driver here. Again, I've got it set 11.5 degrees, weight neutral in the back there. And this one has hazardous yellow 6.5 in it as well. So we will see how this performs. I mean, straight away, the head looks bigger. And it's noticeably bigger as well. So we've gone from 305 cc's to 340 now, so that little bit bigger head size, and probably going to give you a bit more forgiveness when you sit it behind the ball as well. A little bit out the bottom, but straight enough. Yeah, nice little flight on that one. Quite similar straight away to the TaylorMade one, I think, in terms of the kind of ball flight we're getting and the height. Looking at that, it's quite similar. Let's hit a couple more. A little bit better swing, I think. Yeah, a little bit higher flight on that one, but a bit more distance. That's good. Yeah, I think they feel quite similar. I think just with this, with a bigger footprint and bigger head, may be a little bit more forgiving potentially, but I think looking at the numbers so far, I think they're quite similar. So let's hit a few more. Yeah, again, I think that's okay. Get a little fade still on the fairway, but yeah, I think this seems to go just slightly higher than the TaylorMade one in terms of its launch angle. What that's going to do to the distance, I don't know, but I'm going to hit a load more shots with both of these, get some data. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, but I'm going to go out on the golf course now and try both of these in a real-time situation, try and hit some fairways with them, see what types of shots I can hit, and see what the ball flight looks like when we're out there. So come and have a look. So now that we've tried them both inside, let's try them out on the golf course. So got quite a tight little par 4 here, so probably the ideal type of tee shot really for one of these mini drivers. So I'm going to start with the Callaway Elyte. So when we hit this club inside, we found that it launched a little higher, spun a little bit more than the R7, which, like I said, we'll go into the numbers later on. But are we going to see that when we get out here? So let's try and hit one down this par 4, hopefully thread it somewhere down that fairway. Yep, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So left half of the fairway. Yeah, pretty good. On the fairway, running up that hill nicely. Really, really good. Right, let's try the R7 as well. See if that is equally as good. And see if we can hit one up there too. And again, just up the left-hand half of the fairway. Oh, it's got a great bounce as well, back towards the fairway. Pretty good, not quite as far as the Callaway one, the flight was definitely lower, but pretty happy with both of them. So now we're up here on what is quite a tight and tough tee shot. We see the TaylorMade one got a great bounce, literally just landed in this rough, kicked back onto the fairway, and the Callaway Elyte we can see is just slightly further up the hill there, dead centre of the fairway. Pretty good shot, pretty good swing. Both felt quite good. TaylorMade noticeably lower, just pulled it a little bit, but still, I'd be fairly happy with both of those shots. Yes, another tough tee shot here at Howley Hall on the 5th, very tight driving hole. We've got bunkers right and left, trees in the distance as well, so it's really a perfect hole for a club like this to just try and thread it through those bunkers. It's into the breeze and off the right a little bit today as well, so potentially the TaylorMade one that flights it that little bit lower might be really good for this. So let's see if we can nudge one down there. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. It's just gone past that left-hand bunker. It's okay. Just in the rough, I think, but it's all right. Let's see if we can hit this one a little bit straighter. Same spot really, exactly the same shot, just pulled it a bit, absolutely fine, but just over that left-hand bunker, so it's kind of opened up the hole a little bit, so it's not a bad shot. But again, the Callaway one, as soon as I hit it, much higher flight on it than the TaylorMade. They've probably ended up in about the same place again, so let's go and have a look. So we've got up here, yeah, we've hit it over this left-hand fairway bunker, about level with the right-hand one. We're obviously trying to thread it between the two and just pulled it, but I mean, they're literally right next to each other, pretty much exactly the same shot. Callaway one was a higher flight, probably that's why it moved a bit more on the wind, because it started a little straighter and just turned a bit more, but the TaylorMade one, much more penetrating flight, literally never left the middle of that left-hand bunker and has pitched over the top. But it's left us quite a nice, I don't know, something like a pitching wedge, I think, into this green. So here we have par 5, again pinches in at probably about 290-ish when we're hitting it down there, so it's probably, you know, kind of right on the verge of where we can hit this. 3 wood is normally the club I would generally hit, and then you're left with some sort of longish iron into the green really on here. So let's see if we can hit one, poke it down the fairway there. That's pretty good. It's just going to kick in off that slope a little bit. Yeah, pretty happy with that on the fairway. Got a chance of getting to the green in 2. Again, let's try our TaylorMade R7 as well. Definitely higher flight, just leaked it a bit, but I think it's okay. Oh, it is now. It's got the best bounce ever, back down towards the fairway. So had some good bounces actually, haven't we? But yeah, just a little bit right of where I wanted, but it should just be on that right hand side of the fairway. But yeah, much higher flight on that one, just sort of moved the ball up in my stance a little bit, tried to hold onto the face a little bit more, but yeah, just flighted it slightly better. Let's get up there and see where they are. Okay, so again, hit them both down here, one right, one left. You can just see, just missed the fairway on that side. Yeah, and then this one, just missed the fairway on the right hand side. But again, fairly decent shots. We've got a shot now of about 170 to the middle of this green, so very short par 5, but it's completely blind over there. So now that we've had chance to hit these inside, as well as try them on the golf course, let's take a look at those all-important Trackman numbers. So if we start with my 3 wooden drivers, so you can see 3 wood there, 279 in terms of total distance, 3.7 in terms of spin. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'd expect. A good one for me would be somewhere towards 280 yards, and that's pretty good. We can see then when we compare that to driver at 332, I mean, I hit a few of those really, really good, but the spin significantly lower. So we've got quite a big gap between those two clubs, sort of 50 yards really, which is massive. So we could plug that with one of these clubs if we wanted to. And if we look at kind of the distances these are going, so we've got the Elyte Mini, which is just short of 300 yards at 292, and 308 in the R7 Quad Mini. Now they're landing around the same, it's just that the spin is significantly lower with R7 Quad, very similar ball speed, and yeah, we're just getting a little bit more run out of it when it hits the ground, so just chasing that a little bit more. And that's certainly what I've seen out here on the golf course, is that it tends to fly a little bit lower, run a little bit further, and we probably sneak a couple more yards out of it, but not that much different really to the Callaway in terms of distance when I've been out here. In fact, they're both quite a similar golf club when we look at kind of what I've hit out here on the golf course. The Trackman numbers kind of make them look a little bit more different. I suppose the Callaway launches higher, spins a bit more, stops a little bit quicker when it hits the ground. So if that's the type of shot you're trying to hit with it, it could probably work. I think it's, for me, it would be probably a replacement on 3-wood, and I might just put a 5-wood in there instead that goes a little bit shorter, because I don't really tend to hit 3-wood off the ground very often. But you know, if it's landing at 260-ish and going about 280, there aren't many times I've got a shot of that sort of distance out there on the golf course. And you know, I may find that a 5-wood maybe that went 10-15 yards shorter might work better for me if I put a mini driver in there as well and had that versatility. So potentially for me it could work quite nicely, because I do hit a lot of 3-woods off tees, but not really off the ground. So it's not as if I need a fairway wood too much. Particularly the courses that we play over here tend to be a little bit shorter. Now, you know, if we were playing elsewhere, you know, some of those really long resorty courses over in the US where you've got to carry the ball miles in the air, then yeah, potentially a fairway wood is a better option, because you're not going to hit the mini driver off the ground too often either. But if you're that player who does struggle with driver and doesn't like the fact that it's so long and it's so little loft on there, then potentially mini driver could help you in terms of the strike being a little bit more consistent. You're going to lose a few yards compared to your driver, but the fact that the strike's better, you might not actually see that much of a difference, because you know, in terms of percentages, that shorter club, I know it's a slightly smaller head, but you should hit the centre of the face a little bit more often compared to a driver that's obviously longer, a bit more ungainly and difficult to strike. Now, in terms of the comparison between the two, what I've seen out here, I would probably be adding a bit of loft to the TaylorMade one if I was going to use it more regularly, to try and get that flight up a little bit, because I find it's a bit unpredictable in terms of how low it is, and it kind of runs a little bit, which for some of you, that'll be absolutely, you know, music to your ears. Whereas the Callaway, I really like the flight of that. In that 11.5 setting, I think out of these two, that's the one I would pick to use myself. That being said, I think if I had a little play around with the TaylorMade, move the loft around a little bit, and potentially with the adjustability that we've got in the head there, because I did find a few kind of went left on me a bit as well, so I might just move the weights into the toe, try and square that up a touch as well. But the great thing about both of these clubs is they're so versatile. You can do that with both of them. You can really tailor it to any type of golfer and any swing type to really get that ball flight that you're after. And again, that kind of backs up what we say in every video: go and get properly fitted. Try these products out with a Callaway or TaylorMade fitter and make sure you walk away with the right product. But a mini driver could be the club for you if you don't like hitting fairway wood and you don't hit driver too much, but you want something off the tee that's going to give you that distance, and potentially that slightly shorter shaft might help you strike it better. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. If you've got any comments, please drop them in below. Let us know. Do you have one of these in the bag right now? Has it completely transformed your game? Have you had it in there for 5 minutes and put it back in the practice bag again, never to be seen again? Let us know. What do you think of mini drivers? Do you use one? And is there a place in your golf bag for it?